Welcome everyone, if there is anyone who is live, and thanks for your time first. Today I thought I'll speak about why communication is very essential to each one of us and what kind of role it plays when it comes to we having a better interpersonal relationship as well as we achieving what we want to achieve in terms of our professional aspects. And in order for me, I think the stream is being. Yeah. In order for me to start more on the interpersonal communications, I have been kind of very fascinated by very powerful communications from people. Very right from the initial days, one thing what I noticed very uniquely is all leaders are exceptional communicators and they know where exactly to stress, where exactly to pause, and the choice of words what they choose defines how strong or powerful the communication is going to impact to the listeners. And I think all of us, right from our childhood days, uh, even when we get drawn to ideologies, uh, we get drawn to ideologies not because of the ideology initially, because of the person, because of the specific communicator who communicates that ideology to us. How simple, how effective, how powerful that communication defines how good we are connected to it. And why I thought I will choose communication as a topic for today is because one reason, especially last 1 week, right? I was kind of surprised. I was in aghast. I was kind of irritated on people, the way they have communicate, the way they are communicating simple things. Uh, if they would have done it better, the results would have been very different. But I think what I realize is many of us, uh, the importance what we give it in acquiring a specific knowledge, be it technology, be it the SME subject matter expertise, what we talk right. I think none of us, or many of us, rather than me saying none of us, many of us doesn't invest our time to understand how effective our communications need to be in order for us to actually reap the benefit of all the hard work what we did. And there is a saying in Tamil, my mother tongue, all padi, ade padi, which means uh, half the person and half the dress, the way he dress defines his personality. It is not the absolute meaning of it. It is not just the dress alone. It is the way he carry himself, how clean, how professional, and the other part of the half also consists of the communication. And majority of us, right? I think we tend to believe communication is all about the verbal ones or the written communications. What it is, it is not. There is this saying, right? A great communicator is one who not only enable the listener to understand what he spoke, but, but he should be also in a position to make the listener understand what he doesn't speak. And the non-verbal communication also plays a very, very important part in emphasizing, in enabling the listener to understand the right sense. See, there is something called this content there is something called intent. Majority of the people, right, while they know what is the content, at times they don't understand uh, how the intent of what they are communicating has to be delivered. And majority of these communications, you can see, you list down whether you like a political leader, whether you like a business leader, whether you like an inspirational, motivational talker. All these people have one thing in very common. They have very precise communication, and most importantly, their words, their choice of words are very, very simple. And thirdly, they know when to say what. I see, uh, saying no at times is also a good thing than you saying yes for everything. Similar to that, even you have all logical reasons to uh, defend something or to go against something. How exactly you're doing it defines who you are. Many of us, right? I'm so fortunate to have a guru for myself at a very early age. His name is Balakumaran. He's a very, very famous writer in Tamil. And I'm so fortunate to spend a couple of nights, a couple of days just being with them. And when I traveled along with them to Sri Sairam. So when I was speaking to him on multiple things, right, he told me one thing which is something like, which has struck to my head forever. He's like, uh, he's a great communicator. Uh, before me coming to what he said, even today, I'm so fortunate. I'm so thankful to him. Anything related to business, anything related to personal life, uh, if I'm kind of confused, I can go take any of his book in random. I can take, I can open any page in random. Within the next 10 page, there will be a solution available for me or for any situation. And when I was speaking to him, when I was there with him, he told me one thing. Okay, there are two ways of living your life. One is you proving yourself right, and the second way is you being happy. And even at our personal life, forget about professional life, right? Yeah, we'll have bosses, we'll have colleagues, we'll have team members, where uh, when they say something, or in personal life, it can be dad, mom, it can be your wife, your spouse, your girlfriend, boyfriend, kids, anyone, right? So we tend to speak to them. The moment we realize that, okay, even they are saying something which is against our belief, which is against what we think, without we realizing that, we keep on go defending our stand, or without even we realizing, we start getting into a process of investing our time, efforts, everything in proving them wrong. And I was that kind of personality. I'm like, no, you're wrong, and I leave all my job. The moment I get that, okay, yeah, when I think I am right, and when there is someone who is wrong, I start go on defending them. And even today, right, I see in social media a normal discussion where people, you go replies to that reply, to that reply, to that reply, to that reply, where people will start getting proofs. I'm like, what exactly is that someone is trying to do? And that is the time Balakumaran told me. When it comes to the communication, before you communicate, think, is it going to be of anything useful to you? See, the world is full of different people with different ideologies. The moment we start wasting time, even though we are a great communicator, even though we have everything in order to prove them right or wrong, by doing that, what is gonna be the end result of it without we realizing that if we start venturing into that right, we are wasting a very precious time of us. And that actually makes you kind of disillusion, not having an ability to keep an eye on your goals, where you will start getting distracted for every small things. And all great communicators, all great leaders are great communicators, and all great communicators are focused communicators. See, for a moment, keep things idle, right? Right from the early days. Forget about it. If at all you start with the biggest ever communicator this earth has ever seen, right from Jesus Christ, right from uh, yeah, Muhammad, right from all the religious leaders of Hinduism, you think, right from Gandhi, right from uh, all the political leaders, inclusive of our current Prime Minister, okay, uh, uh, they all are great communicators of their own choices. In fact, today morning while I was driving to office, I have seen some social media posts where people are kind of making fun out of the way he pronounces certain words. I want to share a very interesting incident. For me, I have Kanubai, my mentor, who had a great impact on me. So on the very initial days when I met him, right? So Kanubai is a very successful relator living in Mumbai, and the first time when I met, I was full of insecurities. I'm a school college dropout, and I don't have any technical knowledge, nor I have a financial background, and I'm trying to present a business to him. And to my surprise, uh, his communication, uh, he also used similar kind of words. What our prime minister uses, this is the asset, right? Uh, and initial days, because of our, what to say, small sightedness, okay, we used to think uh, he's not able to pronounce this word proper, right? And it took good time for me to realize communication is never about how great your accent is or how great your English is, like Shashi Tharoor. There was a video, I don't know how many of you have seen, of Srimati Sudha Murthy. She had a very, very interesting fireside chat, I believe, with Shashi Tharoor, where he asked her what is that she got against dictionaries. It was very, very funny. And the way she is presented in a beautiful, simple English, she told Shashi Tharoor, right? It is like, Sashi, there are people like you, Ramchandra Guha, the vocabulary what you use is kind of very, very different. Whereas the vocabulary what we use is very different. And the way we process our communication, like how I process, right? I think in my mother tongue. Then I choose the right words, what comes to my mind. And I convert that in English and I present this. And I was looking at a person uh, who has seen enough success in life. Okay. He's like, I don't care. I really don't care how you think about the way I communicate. My intention here is to see that you understand what I speak. That was the greatest eye opener to me. That I should not worry. I- yes, there are gonna be people always around us. Okay, even if you do 99 things right, the one thing what misses Yes, there are going to be complaints because that's what the world is all about. That's what 99% of this world is not meant to see right things. And they are so convinced in identifying what is wrong on anything you does. And they'll highlight it. But that one incident has opened my eyes. Like, I should not worry. And how simple my communication defines how many number of people it is going to reach, and how precise my communication defines how many number of people it is going to impact. And this is not just your professional communication alone, even on personal side, right? At times we don't realize what is important. Yeah, I have a very close set of friends right from my college. We have a college group where there will be battles for their ideologies. Someone will defend our prime minister very strongly. Someone will go against our prime minister very strongly. And I'm a kind of muted spectator there. It is more of an understanding to me uh, on how exactly people are valuing that. What I realized over a period of time, I think in the thirst of we proving we right or someone wrong, we forget what is important to us. Like what I said earlier, right? I stopped uh, communicating to people. Okay, if I realize by proving them wrong, there is nothing which is going to be of anything useful to me. I stop proving them. I simply accept, okay, maybe I'm not the right person to communicate to you. I move out of that communication. And actually, this helps me in multiple fronts. This saves first time. This gives me mental peace. This doesn't allow me to get distracted. And lastly, when you start avoiding unnecessary communication, your communication improves to a greater length. Communication also needs to be compassionate. Majority of the people, right, especially in last time, let's understand one thing. Everyone comes with an agenda. Anyone, uh, everyone has their own agenda. They want to prove you right. They want to prove wrong. They want to take an advantage of a situation. Okay, uh, multiple things are there. Unless and until you know when to communicate and when not to communicate, you just lose the ability for you to make things happen. And I'm a huge fan of Steve Jobs' communication. And I don't know how many times I would have seen WWDCs right from the first edition till the last edition when Steve Jobs has presented. And there was a book of how exactly Steve Jobs prepared himself for his presentation. There will be continuous rehearsals, right from where he needs to enter, how to address the people, exact seconds of pause what he need to give, what kind of the choice of words what he need to use. I don't know how many of you has noticed, by any chance if you have noticed Steve Jobs WWDC, the choice of words what he use has an enormous impact of the brand of Apple. Have a look on it. He uses, isn't it fantastic? Isn't it mind blowing? First in the world. They repeat that continuously. Okay. The moment you're part of that communication, right? The moment you hear so much of positive words connected to the product offering or the service offering, human mind programs itself to get associated with those things. And somewhere the premium of Apple, I personally believe, right, got a lot to do with the way they communicate about how the product is. Same, the second one other thing, which I really liked, I used to tell to all my colleagues, all my friends, right? Indigo Airlines. I don't know how many of you noticed, right from the moment you check in till the time you get out of the aircraft, you will hear the on time performance as a word 20 times. Okay. And I'm talking about effective communication. If this is what you want to instill, you need to weave the core of what you want people to understand about you, your brand, your service in your communication. Today, I'm okay. My preferred after Jet Airways, my preferred airline has become Indigo because of the frequency what is available and because of the availability, last minute booking. I can do all those things. I myself has experienced couple of times a delayed performance. But if someone honestly come and ask me, what is one thing which comes to your mind the moment you listen about Indigo as an airline? Is hands down, it is on-time performance. Second thing, majority of us, I, I have one more mentor by name Peter D. Calloway. He always tells me, Prabhu, you complicate your statements. Can you make it simple? I'm still trying to work on it. One thumb rule what uh, Balakumar and my uh, guru has told us, anything which it is not possible for you to explain to a generation behind you, to a generation after you, if your communication is not enabling them to understand that, you have something wrong with your communication. It looks a simple sentence, but it's very complex. Think, many of us are running a tech enterprise, or many of us are working in a tech enterprise. If your mom, if your grandmother asks, what is your company doing? Okay, without using any of the technology jargons, can we explain? Can we actually make them understand? It's a real tough job. Okay? It looks easy to us. Similar to that, your kid or one more generation, they also doesn't understand the technology the way we understand. So, a proper communication, which is precise, which is simple, makes you a great communicator, and it is going to take you to the places which you can never imagine. And lastly, this is what I've spoken about communication till now is about the presentation part of it. But the communication, you need to also instill your personality on that communication. It is very, very important for you to do that. The reason is, as I told you earlier, any ideology or take for a matter of fact, I used to think, right, Osama bin Laden, okay, how come it is possible for to radicalize millions of people, apart from the set of people who has directly connected with them, who has committed to him and making things which is inhuman. Okay? There are still soft sympathizers. Okay, who's that? How exactly it is possible? Okay. Go and read Rachel. That is a very interesting. If you try learning about Hitler, right? Okay. So when I say communication, uh, communication is a double-edged sword. Uh, with people who has a right personality, who has a right conviction. Okay, when they communicate, it reaches to the right audience, which creates an impact and which does a turnaround on a very positive way. The same communication, when it is being done by someone who doesn't have the core personality, still the communication reaches people, connects to people. It turns otherwise. So, uh, I would like all of us to think, because I did that and it has become very effective to me. on, take a moment back. Even if there is someone who is trying to touch a wrong nerve of you, it happens with me multiple times. Okay, for me, I'm very close to the organization what I built. I'm very close to the people whom I'm being very connected with. We fighting internally is very different. Uh, there are always people who comes and who try to touch my wrong nerve by talking something ill about my company or talking ill about uh, the people who's close to me. My earlier instant reaction was I go on bashing them, I go on spending time in proving them wrong and other things. After a period of time, what I realized is I'm wasting time there. The better what I can do is first to filter for what I need to respond, for what communication I need to ignore. That has actually helped me to a great extent. And I sincerely suggest people who are watching this to try that and see is there a positive impact of it happen to you. With that note, I'll end my today's session. And I would also like to know from you people, take a moment in commenting rather than me just speaking alone. From next week, I would like to get one other person uh, where we take a theme of something like this, where I would like to go for a conversation where more than one sided, how it is going to be if there are two people, maybe there will be different thoughts. Do you think that will be an interesting one? Please let me know your comments. And I'm trying to improve myself. It is going to take some more time. Today, I was supposed to originally start at 12:30, but there were calls which has been extended, subsequent calls, and the place has been kind of being makeshift. I think this will improve in coming days. Until then, thanks to all of you. See you next week.